Hey guys, so in this ramble, I'm going to give you my promised review of the Meetup workspace at the Triangle Building. And it's hard to explain this business relationship between Meetup.com and WeWork. WeWork is a company that bought up a whole bunch of office spaces in a whole bunch of cities across the US, right? And they're working like all around the world. And then Meetup.com was kind of like a website where the point is to get off the internet and go meet people in real life, right? So WeWork found that they had all of this unused office space that they wanted people to sample, to use, right? And they wanted to get their name into the public sphere. They wanted more advertising, but in a way where people were actually showing up. So they decided that Meetup.com, this thing that had existed for years and had a user base in the millions, where people were using this website to organize their meetings for their groups. WeWork decided to buy Meetup, right? And this happened in 2017. And I only learned this after my last meetup, where we decided to sample what WeWork could do for us, right? Drop my stickers. Second there. Anyways, so we get there, and first of all, I noticed that far more people wanted to go to this meetup than wanted to go to a restaurant, right? So that was kind of strange for me to see that people wanted to go to this meetup where there was nothing to eat, no really known amenities, and I wasn't running it like a potluck or anything. It was just an empty space, and previously I had run meetups for this Colorado YouTube club where you don't have to pay anything. It's free. All you have to do is pay for the food that you're going to eat at the restaurant we go to. The only difference in this meetup was it's also free, and there's nothing to be able to buy as far as a substantive meal. And the demand for it was, I would say, 4 times as much. People signed up, and the people who did sign up, they ended up going, which is something that I've had a problem with other meetups that I've run on Meetup.com, and also especially on Facebook, because people are incredibly fickle. It's really easy to click RSVP and not show up. And I don't want to run my club as something where I have to charge a fee for people to show up in order to get them to feel more invested in showing up. Right? If you're not going to show up, fine. I don't need you to show up. So I have this long relationship with Meetup.com in other nonprofit organizations and groups that I have helped to run, including the Occupy movement and groups like the Freethinkers of Colorado Springs. The Pikes Peak Skeptic Society runs a very successful meetup group. I've been a part of Meetup for the better part of 8 years, right? Just using it as both like a low-level member of group that just clicks I accept and I RSVP, all the way to running successful ones myself. And the allure of this WeWork group, it to me was actually it was an enigma. Like, would people show up to a place that does not serve food like a restaurant. And what I found was more people wanted to go to that than going to a restaurant. When it's just a place where you're just going to talk about what you came to talk about, do the meeting that you came to do, people are more likely to show up. And that is strange to me in a way, but also makes sense. One of the advantages that these WeWork spaces have is we got like a conference room, and I filmed it. Like I started a live stream on my phone because I have enough subscribers to do that. They gave me that ability. So I set up my phone on a little tripod, and I streamed as people were coming in. And one of the giant advantages of this space is there is no crosstalk from other tables that is louder than your conversation. And that's something that I was really looking for in a place where there's no ambient music that is copyright and that is very quiet. Now, I didn't mind a low roar, just a tiny kind of background noise for these meetups between YouTubers, where you might want to actually film, asking someone a question when you meet them. But most of the places that we would go and try them as restaurants, these restaurants would have like a little noise battle that would happen, where your table would get a little bit louder, then their table would get a little bit louder, and then all of a sudden nobody can hear anyone without shouting, and it's not very good for filming. And there's also an acoustics problem, like echoes that happen in certain restaurants, where even if the people talking very loudly at another table aren't near your table, their sound will travel. And I think that's part of the design of certain restaurants, is so that noise makes you think that this is a place where people like to meet and talk while they eat. And it kind of, the ambiance that it creates is one where you think that the place where you are eating is a successful place. So WeWork is a little bit different. There still was a bit of an echo in the room that we were in, and you can see that in the live stream that I did. That conference room had a bit of an echo to it, because it's not soundproofed. It's just a regular conference room. It's soundproofed in that if you close the sliding glass door, you can't be heard in the hallway, right? But it's not soundproofed, in and of itself. There's no baffling to create an echo-free zone. And so I understand that, because most of the soundproofing that you would put in a place in order to get it the best for sound is very high maintenance as far as dust. They collect dust, they're hard to dust. So what we also noticed is that in the hallways there is either the noise from the air conditioning or a pink noise generator. And that is to keep people from being able to hear conversations in the office next to them. And that was a little bit better than the common area as far as being able to film for a YouTube project. Now, if you're just having a conversation, great, take it into the common area, and there's free coffee, there's tea and water, and there's actually the ability to download this app and get snacks and pay for them yourself, like a little corner store in there that is like, on the honor system. Of course, there's probably a camera somewhere, but it's pretty much on the honor system. You just buy the snacks, and there's like potato chips and candy and whatnot, just sitting right there, ready for you to purchase. Which, it's not a substantive meal, mind you. It's not like going to a restaurant, but at least it's there, right? There's a little bit more amenity to it. And this is the kind of stuff that the people who rent the WeWork spaces as like, semi-permanent offices for their business, you know, that it's something that they get to enjoy the amenities like all the time. It's like their little work cafeteria, you know. And so in the common area, there was a bunch of couches, there was a chessboard and everything, but there was ambient music, which is copyrighted, which makes it so that you don't really want to film in that if you are a YouTuber. Now, off to the side, there were these booths down a different hallway that were very quiet, that you could have a little conversation between four people and film it and get really good sound. And also there were these little tiny phone booth-like things that you could just like shut and be able to make phone calls in that were kind of soundproofed. Those were nice, but, you know, it'd be a little bit cramped if you're trying to interview a different YouTuber. If you're just going to do your own little vlog like this, I guess you could use that space. But for now, Meetup has been offering using the WeWork spaces, you know, as this kind of trial period of, they're just letting us use it for free. So I'm going to keep on signing up for these free spaces. And they have this plan where you can pay like $45 and get like 10 different slots of time that you can use for your club. And that's what I think they're building to, is like seeing what is the demand for this, how can they get people to subscribe to paying like, you know, a nominal fee in order to have access to a calendar where you can schedule your group for using a certain room. And it's a very novel use of unused space. Most of the people that use the WeWork stuff, they if they have an office in the building, they're gone by 5 p.m. So then, you know, all that common space is pretty much being, you know, not used for a long time. I think it's a really great concept that WeWork it has executed by buying Meetup and then offering these free spaces, because both companies are really, they're bent on helping people use space in the real world. And it's something that, like, I think is lacking in Facebook, when you have people running events on Facebook. Facebook doesn't do anything to help connect people the way that WeWork and Meetup do. And so I'd like to see more of that, like other social media companies seeing that there's something to offering people more than just what you've been offering before, and helping connect people in the real physical world. I think WeWork's move in buying out Meetup was visionary. Now that I've been able to enjoy the connection between the two companies, because I tried running a lot of different groups in a lot of different places, and finding space is sometimes very hard to do. For the size of conference room that we used, I mean, you could get use of a room like that at a library for renting a rental of like $25, and get similar use out of it. And that's just like a one-time deal. And the subscription service, I see them brewing up with WeWork for their unused spaces, you know, just like claiming time slots. It looks like a lot cheaper. And if you're running a club that's going to be meeting, you know, more than just once a month, then it looks like it's going to be a very good deal. So this has not been a sponsored video at all for either of those companies. They're just companies that I use a lot. And I might do a deep dive into a different program that WeWork has called Veterans in Residence. There was one little office in there as we did our little tour of the building, the Triangle building, that it looked like it had a nice little program in it. And yeah. We also doxed Newsy, so that was cool. We know where Newsy is. Anyways, talk to you later.